Yep, g'day guys. This is a Meekboyz bike. Sort of developed because my children never had bikes to ride themselves. Good suspension, lightweight, and good quality bikes. So what I ended up doing is making a full carbon kids bike. It's got carbon rims, titanium spokes. We go for the high-end SRAM brakes, SRAM running gear, XO all the way through. Of course, Fox looks after us with the Fox forks, and yeah, Fox shock at the back. These bikes are totally custom made for kids. The linkage is designed for the kids. The ratio is so strong that you just put in a standard shock. And now the kids can, they can work for the kids properly. It doesn't just look the part, it actually works. So when the kids get up to speed, it's keeping the bike on the ground. And they come in a 20, this is the 20 model, 24, and a 26-inch model. But yeah, fully custom for kids, and give it a chance for the kids when they do the big jumps. It's lightweight, they can throw them around, handle them, all the rest.
I was looking at a seat shock to my GT Fury. Instead of trying to add it to the GT Fury frame, we just took the dimensions and the geometry from the GT Fury and built a specific front triangle that would be set up for the seat shock. And the Fox, the X2s work so good. Just the adjustability on them are awesome. And I'm still playing around with stuff, but the balance of the bike seems to be really, really good. I'm happy with it. The cockpit's a little tight, like the bars are a little tight to the seat, but that's only because the seat comes down and hits the tire when they're both at full bottom. I rode it once at home and then a couple times here today, and I'm loving it so far. I'm just still trying to fine tune it a little bit, but man, I've never been on anything like this loose or whatever, but this is my first time really ripping the Kenda tires, and they're working really good, so I'm happy about the weekend. I'm looking forward to Sunday.
Taking care of Lucas Shaw, Greg Minar, Walker Shaw, and even working on Missy Jovi's bike a little bit, so yeah, having fun. Well, we're pretty much going off the same tune as Snowshoe, West Virginia. So we haven't changed too much, but Greg's on a new shock from West Virginia, trying out a new shock, and Luke is already on the new shock that he tried at West Virginia. That's the only thing really new on the bikes at the moment. All of our baseline settings are from West Virginia. Right. So we might change some things, but to be honest, we haven't changed much. So they're just riding the track, and they can't find much grip on the track. So they haven't come to me for any answers yet. So that's good. So it means that they're staying on pretty much on the same settings. So yeah.
I've changed up settings from West Virginia. Typically, this track's completely different for one, and then just completely different. It's a different type of race. World Cups are pretty high speed, fast, and so your stuff gets quite stiff to hold up in the holes and everything like that. So here's a little bit lower speeds, still technical and hard, but so just change settings to kind of accommodate for these conditions. The main thing we've done is gone from air shock to a coil shock, and swapped some settings on there, trying something quite a bit different. So it's worked out pretty well on a track like this. For us, it's the same amount of support. We are the sport. So I've got this entire setup that you have here, or that you see here, is everything that we had at Worlds and Snowshoe. We just drove straight from there, straight here.
We got the cut up front and the full skid rear. It's the key setup for this track. As fast as you can go, lightest, fastest tires possible. What's that mean?
It's just the grease wears off with the oil in the lowers, so that's why I wanted to open that up and re-grease it.
Can't you just take the valve core out and just go?
No.
For me, I was a mountain biker prior to my injury. That's how I ended up in a wheelchair, was mountain biking. I had an injury in 2016 at Highland Mountain Bike Park. This bike has been incredible for me since then, just to get back out there and be included in a national event like this at the U.S. Open is just incredible. So I wouldn't miss something like this for the world, man. So there is a 3,000 watt motor that powers this bike. Plenty of power to get you up the steeps, and you know, plenty of suspension to get you down the gnarly descents. So these bikes are available in production currently. Bowhead is headquartered out of Calgary, Canada, but they are available for purchase, and I highly recommend any para interested in adaptive mountain biking to get on board. You're not going to have much more fun than on one of these things for sure.
After a full day of servicing forks, we like to go ahead and put our finished service product upside down so the lubrication stays down by the wipers and the foam rings. And we usually find ourselves with a lot of product that needs to be picked up. We always have limited space in the van to stack finished products, so we kind of put our heads together, got some leftover parts that were in the shop, machined a couple bits, and put this fine little fork rack together. We got a little compression adjustment here. Yeah. She's a beauty.
G'day, I'm Lee Reithmuller from Roxy Hand Cycles from Australia. My sponsored rider said that he wanted to take on Doug Henry from the USA because they're both paralysed motocross riders, and he wanted to come to this event especially. So we dragged out my 10-year-old Common Cell Supreme from the garage, and we've got a special carbon fibre seat made and a battery box. This is the custom work that we did in Australia on a standard frame. We had a fair bit of trouble revalving this rear end shock. That's been revalved by NS Dynamics in Australia. Put up with the extra weight and the sitting on the back because a adaptive rider can't stand on the pedals and put more weight on the front end or move around on the bike, so the suspension's very important. GX 12-speed shifter on upside down on the wrong side, and a special part number. That's a non-genuine electric twist throttle like a motorbike, and it's neatened up the cockpit a whole heap because the standard Paradox has a thumb throttle on the left side, and then you have the standard Eagle 12-speed shifter on this side, so there's thumbs and fingers going everywhere for gears and throttles and brakes, and it's a lot neater having the grip shift and the twist throttle.